Good morning everyone to a very bright, almost warm morning in Bavaria. This is the Volvo ES90. I had it for 2 weeks. I drove around 2,000 kilometers, pretty far. And of course I have an opinion. So let's go through everything that I like about the car and what is not so amazing.
If your company has electric cars as company cars, of course you want your employee to charge at home. It's cheaper for you and it's easier for the employee. Tronity has a software solution for you to know how much you have to pay your employee for charging at home. With the Fleet Manager you manage your employees and your cars. Tronity connects to the cars and knows exactly when the car is charging at home and how much. And then you get an easy monthly bill for your employee. If you want to know more, there's a link in the description below.
Let's start with something weird from me. I think the car looks great. I know it's the brother of the Polestar 4, but I think this car looks better. It's maybe not as sporty looking, but overall I love the design. It looks good. I mean that the color you can argue, of course, and that it has to be 22-inch wheels like this press car has, yes. But overall I love the look of the car. It's nice. The next is how this car drives. It's really comfortable, quiet. Steering is very precise. At high speeds it drives really great and comfortable. You can drive 180, which is the top speed, for a while, and the consumption is even okay. So I really like the car to drive. It's nice and easy. You get in, turn your assist system off, which will come in a second, and then put the gear in and drive, and it feels really nice to drive. I liked it. What I'm really disappointed is this car in this configuration costs 95,000 euros. Why do I still have this? Why is there not like in Mercedes, BMW, where press a button and this opens up, or this stays open and this opens up? I think there could be in here. And the other thing, by the way, when you stop charging, either with this or in the car or at the charger, until it gives you the charge plug, that takes a long time. And this opening, when you hear it, it's really loud. Space in the trunk, the front and on the rear seats is really enough. You have a lot of space. I love that you can have a configuration where you can adjust everything on the rear seats, even seat ventilation and seat heating. That's really nice. So it can be really comfy in the back seats. You have enough legroom and headroom. Very nice. That's a nice bonus. And I can recline the rear seats electrically with this button here. The car overall has a theme of not having a lot of buttons, at least buttons possible. You can see that here, if you want to adjust the windows, the windows, you have to press to get to the rear ones. Then you don't have a lot of buttons on your seat. You have to press the middle button to get to different functions. There are no buttons here. Everything is on the steering wheel and on the buttons of the steering wheel as well. The glove box doesn't have a button. You cannot even change this glass to see-through or not see-through with the button somewhere. It has to be in the infotainment system, which I find really stupid. It's here. The next is energy saving. Volvo didn't have that in mind at all. Every time when you get into the car, even though there's nobody sitting in the rear, it's on. I have to manually turn that off. That's just every time when I put it somewhere in auto, it automatically does that. And then I cannot even turn off the passenger if I'm driving alone. There's no eco mode. There's eco mode so for this side. What I have eco is, to go to the front, is the climate, and so the heating or AC can be in eco. I can do that, but it still heats up the whole front, not just my seats. The infotainment system overall is great. There's always Google Maps here, and you can have your account in there, which is nice. That at home when you search for an address, it's in here as well. You can send your address from your phone to the car. You have your music here, different sources. You have an own app store where you can install a lot of app because it's on Android Automotive. And here you have your phone. Underneath on the left left, you always have your last 3 apps that you have used. And on the right, you have different buttons for your car, depending on what you're doing. Right now, I have the glove box here. When I'm driving, I have the one pedal drive here, which I can change. When I'm in cruise control, it shows me the distance and other things. But it's sad that I cannot adjust these 3 things and put something in here that I think I need. That would be nice, so I don't have to go anywhere. The same when I press the car, I have 6 things that are favorites. It would be nice if I could change them to the favorites that I need the most. So I personally, when I stand, would love to have the trunk opening here, because it's only here. It would be nice if it would be here, that I don't have to click into something to open the trunk when I'm parked. Something I'm not a fan at all are the assist systems. So yes, I have a shortcut for my lane assist and my speed limit warning, but this doesn't turn lane assist fully off. There's still an emergency lane assist where it still pulls you over. And the other thing is the attention warning. There is, in driving down here, is an attention warning thing, but if I turn that off, it still bugs me if I look away for 2 seconds. And again, I cannot turn this off. There's no way, there's no other menu where you can turn off the emergency lane departure and stuff like this, or no attention warning, anything. You cannot turn it off, it's just always on, and this is very sad and annoying to me. Overall, I find it also a bit annoying to get to my charge limit, for example. So there's no other pages. This is my screen. So if I want to get to my charge limit, there's only one way: car, settings, charging, and then I have to be in individual, and then I can change the charge limit. In other cars, I have charging and can change the charge limit. I know this is not the most important thing that you have to see. It just feels like for everything I have to go to a lot of menus and change stuff, where in other cars I just have a button and do it. And it's sad that when I scroll down, I don't have other favorites. This is just my notifications. What it really does well is the planning. So if I plan along a route, let's do Dresden. There we go. The cool thing is that I want a different route. I don't want to go through the Czech Republic. Where's the other route? I want to go here. Yeah, whatever. But you can select chargers. You can select charging networks. But I think that it's not that you select what charger it's using. It's more with what do you want to pay. So because it says payment up here, and what I select here feels like it's more payment. So if I choose Ionity, it doesn't mean that it's going to use Ionity. Maybe something else where with the Ionity payment method you could pay for charging as well. But still, it's a good way. What is negative is it's pretty good when it comes to what state of charge you arrive. It does that well, but what it can't do and is totally wrong is the charging times. I had this in my long distance trip where it thought from 11 to 84% it takes 36 minutes, and in reality it took 22 minutes. And even Volvo themselves say this car can charge from 10 to 80% in 22 minutes. So it was totally off, and so the whole plan was wrong. The digital mirror has positives and negatives. I mean, it's needed. When you look back, there's no way you can see out that window. It's really needed. The positive is when a car is really close, you can see it way better with the camera. It's very detailed. You can see the license plate and everything. That's nice because it's a bit zoomed in. The negative is if the car is a bit away, in this digital mirror, you can barely see the car, what it's doing. And on a German highway, that's very important. When you drive 130 and other cars can come from the back with 200, you have to look in the rearview mirror. I do that and see how fast the car behind you is driving. And with this digital mirror, you can barely see the car and make out how fast it's going. So you have to check your side mirrors a lot and then can be safe and say, okay, I can go out now. So I see that problem a lot. Regenerative braking. It's really nice and strong. You can put it in one pedal drive off, automatic or standard. And in standard, when you drive a normal speed, the regen is really strong, and that's sometimes a bit problematic if you're just going a bit and parking uphill somewhere, that it's a bit comfortable. It feels a bit less comfortable when you do that because you drive a bit. When you get off the accelerator pedal, it brakes pretty strong. So you have to learn that a bit and get used to it. I couldn't in those 2 weeks so far because I didn't do it too many times. When you drive normal with the car to around 130 kilometers an hour, regen is great. When you drive faster, for whatever reason, at 150 or even faster, when you get off the accelerator pedal, regen is almost non-existent. That's nice for stability, but it means you have to switch brake pedal to the brake pedal a lot. That's not one pedal drive for me. So till 130 you have that, but then it's gone. I don't know why, and there's no adjustment that I can change it, which is a bit weird. But other than that, it's good. Then cruise control and steering assist. Cruise control you turn on very easy here on the gear selector. When you switch that, it's on, and then on your steering wheel you can adjust the speed, and in the infotainment system you then get a distance. You only get 3 distances, which is a bit sad, but still. And then steering assist you just can turn on here with a button, which is nice, and everything is adjustable. Very, very nice. It works good. My problem with cruise control is that when you drive in a left corner on the highway and there's a truck on the right lane, you're on the left lane, it thinks the truck is in your lane and it slows you down. It did that a few times on my long distance trip, and I find it a bit sad because a lot of other cars can do that without a problem. And this car has LiDAR and everything, so I'm a bit disappointed with that. The other thing is the steering assist. When it's nice and straight and you don't drive too fast, 120, 130, it works amazing, really great. There's no weird steering and everything. When you drive a bit above 130, let's say 140, and you drive in a corner, right or left, it's searching around left and right. It's not comfortable. It drives too close to lines and everything. I see myself turning it off all the time. In a construction zone, it doesn't work well as well. I have to turn it off. That's not nice at all. And also, again, with the LiDAR and everything, I'm a bit disappointed. Charging, car has an 800 volt battery system. This car is the single motor version, 92 kilowatt hours, 88 can be used, and charging goes up according to Volvo to 350 kilowatt. The peak that I have seen was 325 kilowatt. And charging to 10 to 80% really was the 22 minutes. So really nice. And the 100 kilowatt are still on at 80%. So that's cool. I wanted to do a charging test with this car. I did my power drive, drove 180 for a while, and then I arrived with 8% at the charger. And I don't know if it was the car or the charger, but I only got a peak of 250 kilowatt, and it stayed there for a very long time. So I don't know if the battery was too hot or if the charger has a limit, because I also had 3 times where the charger dropped out. Suddenly it said arrow for charging. I had to unplug, plug it back in, and it started charging again, and then a few minutes later the same thing again. So it could be the charger, I don't know. There was nobody else charging in the beginning. Then another 800 volt car was charging with at least 250, 260 kilowatt, but they also left, and I still had the charging problem, and this was weird. So I don't know if it was the car or the charger. I suspect the charger for the charging fails, but the 250 kilowatt limit, I suspect the car, because the battery was too warm from driving with power. And this is the next thing. This has rear wheel drive with 333 horsepower, and acceleration feels good, but not amazing. This car feels slower than my ID.7, which has 50 horsepower less. But I think this is just heavier, and that's the problem. Also, when you step on it, especially when you're standing, it's a bit underwhelming. So acceleration is not awesome. It's still good, but not great. Consumption and range is okay. Again, I expected from the form a bit more, but I also know Volvo a bit. I know that the motors are not very efficient. So in a way, I expected it to be okay, not amazing. With this big battery, I got around 400 kilometers of range at 130, which is okay in the summer. My ID.7, for example, smaller battery, gets 430, but this car also had the 22-inch wheels on, which are amazing for consumption, so negative. So I get it, but overall I think it's okay what it does. It's nice and comfortable, and you can get to your destination very nicely, and range is okay and charging is great. So overall, the Volvo ES90 is a great car to drive. For the money, I'm a tiny bit disappointed. I was expecting a bit more. Number one, I would expect that it goes 200 for that price. Battery heating is one thing that I have a big problem with. So you cannot manually preheat the battery. You can also not tell it to not preheat the battery when you navigate to a charger, especially when you drive somewhere and it plans a charger in between. And then you don't get a message that it's preheating the battery. You have no idea how warm the battery is. The only thing is in the consumption, there's a little thing that says percentage for electronic and battery care. That's the only thing where you know afterwards if it preheated or cooled the battery. That's it. And for me, I don't know, I like that to see, okay, the battery is warm, I don't have to preheat, or the battery is too warm, there could be a problem. Something like this, it would be nice to have. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, but that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.